What to say when Mormon missionaries come to your door, coming from a former Mormon missionary. Keep in mind, if you open the door and allow them to pray with you and teach you, they'll write your name down in their area book, which means missionaries will come back again and again hoping to teach you more. You could always have some sort of porch decoration like this, or this, or this, and they'll probably leave without even knocking. You can also tell them something like you worship Satan, or just start singing songs from the Book of Mormon musical, and that'll probably do the trick. I don't recommend trying to Bible bash with them or trying to deconvert them because they're not even allowed to use the internet to research anything you might tell them. Typically, missionaries are 18 or 19-year-olds, and if they leave their mission early, they'll face significant judgment from their community. And trying to convince them that they're wrong will make them dig in their heels, and it will reinforce the stereotypes of what they've been taught about the outside world. If you want to be kind, ask them if they need anything like a snack or a drink of water, but just make it clear you don't want to hear any messages about the church. Just keep in mind that if your name and information gets written down in their book, they'll come again and again, and soon you'll find yourself Googling, "These are celebrities you probably didn't know were Mormon, and if they're still practicing." Ryan Gosling grew up in a very strict and devout Mormon home, but left the church in his teens. Amy Adams grew up in a very large Mormon family, and she was one of 7 children. She no longer practices, but has shared that she still carries a lot of religious guilt. Christina Aguilera's parents met at BYU and married in a Mormon temple, but she has never personally identified herself with the religion. Benson Boone grew up Mormon and went to BYU, Idaho, but he recently told Rolling Stone that he no longer identifies with the religion. Katherine Heigl's parents were Catholic, but they converted to Mormonism after the death of one of their children. She said the structure of the church was good for her growing up, but she no longer practices today. Gladys Knight joined the Mormon church in 1997 after her children joined and then introduced her to the religion. She still practices today, and she's occasionally performed with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Jeanette McCurdy was raised in what she describes as a less than perfect Mormon family, and she shared in her book that the more famous she became, the less Mormon her family became. She no longer practices today. David Archuleta became a poster child for the church after he competed on American Idol in 2008. In 2021, he came out as gay, and in 2022, he announced he was stepping away from the church. If you want to know what's really going on in the mind of a Mormon woman, you should watch Jane Williamson's content. She's a Utah mom influencer, and I think her comedy is cultural criticism in disguise. Jane is a member of the Mormon Church, and while she says that her videos are poking fun at Utah culture, it's hard to imagine what part of Utah culture she's poking fun at, if not Mormon culture in Utah. Her videos may just look like goofy mom skits, but as an ex-Mormon, I feel like her content is a perfect window into the impossibly high standards Mormon women are held to. In Jane's content, we have themes of women trying to be impossibly thin, jokes about MLMs, delivering sourdough as a way to flex, strange names for children, an obsession with shopping and retail therapy, and many scenes where her husband is clearly fed up with her. Jane's arch nemesis in her skits is Jessica, and Jessica reveals exactly what every single Mormon woman is trying to be, which is an effortlessly perfect wife and mother. Jane's videos to me are the type of comedy where it's like, it's funny because it's true, and sometimes I feel like it also feels like dark comedy, because watching it you really have to ask yourself, what does this reveal about the psyche of the modern Mormon woman? We've now seen multiple collaborations between Ballerina Farm and Nara Smith, and so here's my prediction for what happens with Nara next, coming from an ex-Mormon. Nara is married to Lucky Blue Smith, who's from Utah, and he's a generational Mormon. He also, I think, really does truly believe in Mormon doctrine. You don't go posting pictures of the Book of Mormon like this unless you actually believe. Lucky's sister, Piper America, also recently just got sealed in a Mormon temple, which means that his whole family is pretty Mormon. Lucky got famous as a model very young, and while he was doing things like taking pictures with Kylie Jenner, most of his closest friends were on Mormon missions. I think that Lucky really truly does believe in the church and has likely always had a sense of loss for what his friends were able to have in the church while he was off jet-setting as a model. This is where we get to where Nara and Lucky meet and start a family, and while Nara has said that she's not currently Mormon, I think it's only a matter of time before she will probably join. My prediction, based off of what they've been posting and the collaborations, is that within the next year or two, Nara will get baptized, and then her and Lucky will get sealed in the temple with their kids, just like Lucky has always wanted. So many people said that The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives would not be an accurate representation of Mormonism, but after binging the show, I could not disagree more. First, we have Whitney, who's married to a dude who seems to be gay and probably definitely cheated on her, but they're keeping it together because I guess they were married in the temple, and divorce is very taboo. Here is a photo of them standing in front of a Mormon temple. Next we have Michaela, and she was pregnant by 15. Later, after the birth of her son, when she was 16 years old, she married the man who impregnated her, and he was 21 years old. This happens to a lot of women in the Mormon church. If you get knocked up, you're expected to marry that man because basically now you're damaged goods. Next we have Zach, who is kind of a picture-perfect version of what the stereotypical Mormon man is really like. He's a controlling narcissist who threatens divorce at every turn, and he treats Jen like she's his property. We have Layla, who joined the Mormon church because having a social circle in Utah when you're not Mormon is essentially impossible. She gets married at 18, divorced at 22, and she's never even experienced climaxing. In my opinion, this show reveals the impact that Mormon doctrine has on the lives of real women to a T. These are the most brainwashy Mormon songs, and yes, I will be singing them for you. The first is More Men, and this is sung at girls' camp between the ages of 12 and 18, and it goes like this. Mormon, 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 I know a Mormon boy, he is my pride and joy. He knows most everything from Alma on down. Woo, someday I'll be his wife, we'll have eternal life. Oh, how I love that Mormon boy. M-O-R-E-M-E-N. More men, sing it again.
Mormon, 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 I love my Mormon boy, he is my pride and joy, he knows my everything from Alma.
The next song is I Love to See the Temple, which is a song meant for primary children, and I started singing this since before I can remember. A quick reminder that any child singing this song literally has no idea what actually happens in a Mormon temple. I love to see the temple, I'm going there someday. To covenant with my father, I'll promise to obey.